Alicia here, Mike's wife and doctor of physical therapy. Here to talk about just me and Mike's strength training program for our upcoming marathon. So this will be the third time I've run a marathon and Mike's second time running a marathon. And really want to set up a strength training program for both of us that's going to complement some unique backgrounds we have. So over the past couple of years, I haven't been doing a lot of miles, if any, really low mileage, and Mike's been doing more miles. Within the past year, I've taken up more like strength training and weights. Mike has not. So trying to now get strength training and marathon mileage training in sync for the two of us with one program is going to be creative. So to give you an overall idea as to the method to my madness for our strength program, I want to go to the basic principle of the body adapts to the places stressed on it, right? There's good stress, there's bad stress. Me and Mike are going to be doing a lot of running miles stress over the next 16 weeks. So our body is learning to adapt to a high mileage stress. So if the body gets too much stress too quickly, it can't adapt, and that's when we get injured. So with the strength training program, me being low miles, Mike being higher miles, me being probably stronger in more planes of motion because I've been strength training and not just running in a straight line like Michael has, we've got to, blend the volume Michael has and more of the strength that I have right now in this program. So I think Mike's going to be posting up what I've written out for us each week, and you'll probably look at the program, and if you have any sort of programming background, you're going to say, that seems pretty basic. I would agree, it's pretty basic, but I want to see over the first couple of weeks how, my body responds to getting multi-planes of motion with the strength training, but then the repetition and increased volume of miles. Inversely, Mike is going to be ramping up his miles, not quite to the extent I have, but he's now going to be moving his body through a lot more ranges of motion with this strength training. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want more clarification, ask some questions in the bottom and I'll break this down for you, because I could talk all day and I could spiderweb off in a million directions. But again, the body adapts to the stresses placed on it. Both me and Mike are going to be increasing our overall stress with this marathon training. And with the strength training program, I'm trying to just kind of marry the strengths and deficits both of us have coming into this 16 weeks. So when you look at the weeks moving forward, as of right now, I'm anticipating at least for the first 6-ish weeks of really having it divided in Mondays being what I'm calling compound days, Thursdays being called mat days. Compound days, I'm thinking more compound full body motions. I want to get, me and Mike moving not just in that forward motion, but in the side to side and more of that rotational motion, those planes of motion there. And I want to start loading it here, not only just stabilizing in those planes of motion, but moving in those planes of motion. Again, more full body, all our joints kind of moving together. Thursdays with the mat, what I'm hoping to do is a lot more one joint at a time, really having to learn to stabilize the whole body as one joint is moving, more or less, or one targeted area is moving. So when you think mat Pilates, that's kind of what I'm going for. A lot of stability, and then just arms and legs movement off of that, more or less. So this week, when we're looking at compound days and mat days, and an example of looking at maybe addressing some deficits. So, going into this marathon program, Mike already had a little bit of a niggle in his right inside knee. And so when I did my PT evaluation on him, it's a lot of his knee pain on the inside is being driven by some weakness in his hip, like his glutes and stuff. So you'll see again in some videos he's going to post up in the corner here that on Monday, compound day, one exercise I had was a single leg RDL to what I called the heel raised runner. So what we're looking at with a single leg RDL is obviously a lot of posterior chain glute strengthening, but then also just that neuromuscular facilitation when he comes out of that single leg RDL up into that heel raised position. Again, more looking at that horizontal component to running force, not as much the vertical component with the RDL, but the horizontal component of force production when you're running. And then Thursday, when we look at that same deficit, another way we're addressing the inside leg pain is through a side plank hip series. So Mike's in a side plank, and one of the areas with the knee pain too is a lot of weakness in one of his hip adductors, so the inside of the thigh. So he's doing a side plank, which does a lot for your obliques, which work with your hip muscles and your adductors. But then he's doing a side plank in what we call a Copenhagen plank, which really kills the adductors. If you haven't tried it, go ahead and enjoy. You'll see how much that can get burning there. But again, keeping it simple. Mondays are compound days, Thursdays are mat days. Pretty much trying to get me and Mike on Monday moving through big ranges of motion in all planes, but then also getting a little creative in not only moving in all those planes, but also having to stabilize in all those planes as well. And then Thursday, just getting like individual joints really burning, feeling the good, productive burn there. So again, if you guys have any specific questions or you want to see and hear more content on what this program looks like moving forward and the reasons why, please ask questions in the comments below. And looking forward to continuing this journey with you. Have a good one. Bye.